What's up, amigas? We're going to be making birria tacos. So I went to Sam's and I picked up some few things that I needed, like the spices at the carniceria, as well as I stopped by Sam's because I didn't feel like going to the carniceria because their meat is kind of different from the chuck roast. So I ended up getting the one from Sam, and it was pretty pricey, but I got it for $28.77, and I got like 2 big chuck roasts. So I'm gonna fill it right now. I'm gonna first clean it, and I like to clean it with white vinegar, but if you chose to submerge it with water, that's on you, boo. But I'm gonna go ahead, voy a limpiar todo esto y voy a empezar. So let's get into it. By the way, I've been craving for birria for a good minute. I've been watching it a lot on TikTok. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna stay too long on TikTok. I know all of y'all are wanting me to stay on TikTok so bad, but it's just like, I don't know. And then I've been seeing, like, you know, girlies support each other. I also seen the Wendy trend, which I thought is pretty cool, but I don't know. I want to be able to come up successfully and one day be able to be excited for that. But today I decided, why not do a little bit of cooking, since you guys do like when I do cook and I make some of the best dishes on my Lemon&app app. If you're not following me on Lemon&app, what are you doing? You need to go ahead and follow me, boo. But yeah, I've been wanting tacos for the longest, and we're going to be doing that. I forgot to tell you guys what are you gonna need for your birria. So basically, let me give you the recipe that I wrote down just so that it's much easier. Okay, we're back. So you're gonna need, you're gonna make queso birria. So you're gonna need 2 pounds chuck roast, onion, garlic, Roman tomato, 4 bay leaves, salt, 22 guajillo chile, you know, the little chiles that are in the bolsas. That's what you're gonna need. If you don't know, let me show you an example just in case. Everywhere, I'm so unorganized. Anyways, these are what I'm talking about, the chiles. So this is chile arbol. You're gonna need 3 of those. This is chile guajillo. You're gonna need 22 of these. And you're gonna need 3 of the chile anchos. So this is all you're gonna need. Make sure that you wash them. So if you're new to doing these recipes, make sure that you take the seeds and wash them. Recipes I had to write down, and some I had to pick up. So I got me some pimientos. I also grabbed some cinnamon sticks. I do have bay leaves, cumin, oregano. I do have thyme and oregano here, and some cloves. I just don't remember where exactly I put them, but I know it's around here somewhere. But this is all you're gonna need to start to broil the meat. So let's get into it. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna be using this crock pot to broil my meat. I already, you know, cleaned it out and everything. So we're going to be adding the meat in here. I'm gonna be adding some water first, and we're gonna set it all the way on high because we do want this on high as soon as we add the meat. That way it cooks quicker. I would have done it on the pot, but it takes a long time. So this is a better way for me to get things rolling. Okay, now we're going to add the chuck roast. So this is how it looks so far. I already cleaned it with vinegar, and I really cleaned through it, and I took out like what was left in here. Now I'm going to place this in here, and I'm gonna start adding water and then start adding all the ingredients. Okay, now we're going to add water in here. Just try to fill it up, but not too high because we don't want this to overflow. Then the next thing you're gonna do is add your whole onion in here. I feel like this is way too big, so I'm gonna cut it up because I like my onions to be cut a little bit more slimmer. So I'm gonna cut them in halves basically, and then I'm gonna spread them out like this. Much better. Now we're gonna add 2 Roman tomatoes. All I did was just cut them up, and we're just gonna add them in there. I'm also getting this recipe from one of the girlies on this chat on YouTube, but I'll link her birria recipe on here so you guys don't think that it's just me doing it. Also, we gotta add some bay leaves. So get you about 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 garlic clove. It should look like this. Make sure that you, why is my Focus, camera. My camera is not focusing on you guys. It's so blurry. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So you're gonna add a garlic clove. Make sure you take out a little bit of the cascara so that it's not just the whole thing. Just make sure you take that out. And then lastly, you're gonna add some sal into the mix. And we're gonna leave this in for about, I would like to say 30 to 45 minutes. And we're gonna close this lid. So in the meantime, while we're doing that part, now we're gonna add some water here, and I'm gonna add some of the chile into a pot and let that boil so that we have the chile ready. Unfortunately, I don't have a Ninja or them fancy blenders, so we're gonna have to make it work in this bougie, well, not bougie, but in this house that we have to make things work when we don't have the money for it. So I'm just gonna let this boil up, and then we're gonna add the chile. I already went ahead and did all the maintenance on the chile guajillo, ancho, y árbol. So everything is already clean, set, and ready for me to add to the pot, so that way it can start boiling, and we get that red nice color. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding everything. I know I said that I was gonna let it boil, but I'd rather just go ahead and start adding them in here. So all you're gonna do is just add everything in here. This is so hard to do with the light. We're gonna make it work, honey. So yeah, we're gonna let this set, and then we're gonna chill for a little bit. And you wanna know something else? I do not have anything to drink. So we're gonna make something to drink while this is getting set and ready. And while that is boiling over there, I already set this on high. So once everything comes together and we start noticing like the little carne or the little bubble part, we will be having to take that out as well and leave it in for another hour. So approximately 2 hours for this to be good, set, and well done. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, next thing, amigas, we're going to be adding a skillet. I'm also going to be adding 7 cloves of garlic into this pan. I'm just going to first let it heat up, and I want them to be toasted so we can add it to the blender. So we're going to be letting this heat up and then toast it until we like how it looks, like golden brown, and then we move on. So this first. Okay, now I toasted the garlic, so now the next step is we're gonna add some sesame seeds to the skillet as well. Oh my goodness. And it's on high, so make sure that you lower down the steam. Okay, so I let these cool down. So we're gonna add in this little small blender because fortunately I do not have a big blender. So I'm gonna start adding all the spices. I went ahead and toasted pretty much everything that I needed in the ingredients. So this is ginger, the 7 garlic, thyme, cloves, some of the seasoning. I'll list them down below, but that's pretty much all that's in there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of this beef sauce into this blender, and make sure you strain it too, so if you don't want it chunky or anything. So remember how I told y'all to make sure y'all toast the sesame seeds? Tell me why I forgot to add some of it into the blender. I'm gonna go ahead and add that into the blender just so that there's at least a good amount. I don't know what it's gonna give off of this flavor, but hopefully it's juicy and tenderized and seasoned, because I want it to be just plain. So I'm just gonna only put like half of this sesame seed. You don't need that much. And then I'm just gonna add all the rest of the stuff, because this is pretty much what's left from the birria, to make the chile. Alright, I know you guys can't see, but this is what's left over from the chile. I made sure that it cooled down because I don't have those blenders and I don't want my blender to fuck up, so that's why I made sure that I did that. And then lastly, you're gonna add bay leaves and also a little bit of the caldo from the beef, from the birria. I think I'm gonna just add like 1 or 2. That's pretty much it. Or she said 4. Let me just do like a small one. And that should cover everything. Okay, so this is from the beef, so I'm gonna just add a little bit in there. Hopefully it mixes, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of water and some salt, and then we mix. It should look something like this. Okay, so we finally finished. I'm now gonna add. Oh, I burned myself. We're gonna add the chile. So this is what the consistency should look like. I had to strain a whole lot, and I still had more. By the way, it took forever to do, but I got it done. So let's add that in there. But before we even do that, we're gonna take out the onion and the ajo as well as the tomatoes. All right, so now I'm going to add the sauce. And we are going to mix it. It's been in here for almost about, I would say 2 hours, but we're going to leave it in for a little bit more. It's still a little bit thick. It's not all the way tender, so we're going to leave it in there for another hour. And then once we come back, this should be ready and tender.
2 hours later.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying not to laugh right now, but this is a serious matter. So, of course, the birria took almost a very long time because, like I said, birria, it takes a long time depending on how long and the hour that you buy it. And I bought it pretty late, so it didn't cook, so I left it overnight to cook. And now we have the birria. So let me show y'all how I do it and how delicious it looks. Now, mind you, aka for some of my Mexicanos que los adoro y los quiero, y'all need a little bit of sazon. Not sazon, but a little bit of sofrito in your meat. It will make so much of a difference because it gives the flavor in the meat personally, but that's just my preference, you know. But I didn't use that in this recipe, but it's just a eye-opener, you know. Try to expand and explore other flavors so that you get that really good savory taste. Not saying that y'all's flavors ain't good, because it's good, but a little bit of sofrito would help, especially in the meat, and especially if you were to make like carne asada or cookouts. It's really good. I just dipped the tortilla with the salsa, and now what you're gonna add is the cheese. So this is the one that I found at my local store. It's not as like the other cheese, but this will do. You just add a little bit of this cheese on top, and then you're going to fold it for a couple minutes, and then you're going to add the meat, and then you add the little ingredients to the side. Here. Okay, so now I kind of put the carne in pieces. So now I'm gonna open back the tortilla, and this is where you start adding the meat. And I like to spread out the, okay, and then you add your cilantro on top, and then you go back, and then you fold it back with a spoon. Make sure everything is even. And then you repeat the same. Then you repeat the same thing. So now the final some little salsita.
Mi querido Lalo, ¿cómo estás? Verdes, rojos y amarillos, frescos y secos. Hay una variedad de chiles mexicanos, pero nacen o se hacen. ¿Cómo está la cosa? Mejor, hablemos con otro experto en chiles. El chef Sanchez. De veras, veo el chile, ahora sí que el chile verde, el chile seco, y resulta que estoy aprendiendo que hasta son los mismos chiles, pero que se llaman diferentes.
Sí, aquí tenemos variedades de chiles en fresco y acá variedades de seco. La pregunta siempre ha sido, ¿de dónde vienen los chiles secos? Siempre provienen de un chile en fresco.
Yo me imagino que así como cortas un chile jalapeño